Let's now focus on an issue that has been raging within the media and the public space for some time now. The second Deputy Speaker of Parliament and the National Democratic Congress flag bearer hopeful Alban Bagbin is reported to have told party communicators in the Volta region that former President John Mahama made a bad decision by appointing Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah as Communications Minister because he stammers. He said, quote, "It is not a chief that speaks, it is a linguist. So if you are a leader, you must have a very good linguist." When Prof was in power, Haruna Idrisu was our linguist in charge of communication. When our brother John came to power, he substituted him for Dr. Omane, who is a stammerer, who is a natural stammerer. He's a very intelligent boy, smart, but when he's speaking, he wastes time in coming out. Ghanaians don't have that much patience, end quote. Now, these comments have been described by persons with speech impairment as offensive. Elias Apreku is the president of the Ghana Stammerers Association, and he joins us online. Great to have you here this morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you. How far have you come as an association when it comes to sensitizing and helping people understand what stammering even is and how to deal with people who stammer?
Yes. How far have we come? Yes, we are trying our best to really drum home this message of stammering awareness. Now, this very speech impediment hasn't really gained prominence with regards to some form of disability or speech impairment in Ghana. So we as an association are doing our very best to spread and then increase the awareness. And we've been doing this for the past 5 years, but there is still more work to be done. So yes, we have gotten to a certain point of awareness creation, but then I think there is still more work to be done.
So what was your first reaction when you heard the comments made by the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament?
Sorry?
I'm asking what your first reaction was when you heard the statements made by the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament.
Yes, I mean, for a person who stammers, who doesn't want to, call in my shell and then come out to do whatever I want to do without stammering, being a stumbling block, I find it as a very, very disappointing statement, especially coming from somebody of his stature, and not just me, but the association as a whole, person who stammer. We find it very, very derogatory, very, very discriminatory, and then it should be condemned by all persons, not just persons who stammer.
Okay.
It should be condemned by the media. The media should help us drum home this message of giving equal opportunities to all persons in spite of your challenge.
So what are your demands now, and what are you considering if those demands are not met?
What we are saying is that we want Mr. Bagbin to apologize to us, to apologize to all persons who stammer. He's making the world believe that persons who stammer cannot occupy certain positions, or persons who stammer cannot be communicators. So we want him to come out clearly and then apologize and retract that statement so that it doesn't go a long way to put this perception in people's minds that persons who stammer cannot occupy positions which involve public speaking.
So if that is not done,
if that is not done, well, we organized a press conference yesterday, and we said that we have given him 4 days to respond, and then if he doesn't, we would sit down as a federation and would look at the next line of action.
Thank you for your time. Elias Apreko is president of the Ghana Stammerers Association. Well, the second deputy speaker of parliament is also reported to have said, if you're not whole, can you be a chief or a queen mother? He asked, so when you form a government and make the minister for chieftaincy a blind person, and the chiefs are objecting and you don't change it, what are you telling the chiefs? These are facts I am stating. I have not added anything. You all know it, but you may not have appreciated the impact of what happened. And when some of us are close and can see, we see it, then you are somewhere and you are telling people to insult us. Well, George Osei Bimpe is the co-chair of the civil society organization platforms on SDGs, and the earlier statement I made, or quote I made from the second deputy speaker, was in regards to Dr. Dana, who was made a chieftaincy minister. And we're joined via Skype. And Mama Vio Abuaji is also in the studio to help us with those statements first. And Mama V, we've received a lot of statements and reactions from different civil society organizations. Tell us what they are saying and what their demands are.
So let's begin with the Ghana Federation of Disabilities, the Kumasi Metro, and they issued a statement signed by Prince Deborah, who's president of the Ghana Federation of Disability Organization, the Kumasi Metro, and they are reminding us of the number of persons with disability. They put the figure at 2.3 million persons with disabilities. Of course, they are condemning these comments made by the second deputy speaker of parliament. We also have a release from the office of the former president, Jerry John Rawlings, signed by the communications director, Kobina Ando Amwakwa, also saying that such utterances have the tendency to negatively affect the unity and cohesion of the party. But Amnesty International also did issue a statement where, first of all, they are condemning Mr. Bagbin's statement for all its intent and purpose, and they say they find it regrettable that a leader of his caliber would make such an unfortunate and disparaging statement. So they make references to the 1992 Constitution, and they say that the statements made by the second deputy speaker of parliament is offensive, insensitive, degrading and discriminating, and it goes against Ghana's commitment to advance the well-being and human rights of all citizens and to eschew discrimination as enshrined in Article 17 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. So this is what they're asking for. Let me box it together with the CSO platform on.
Mama V, I'll have to let you hold on there a minute. Mr. Osei Bimpe joins us via Skype. He's co-chair of the Civil Society Organizations platform. So that Mama V just read your statement. For a second deputy speaker to be making such statements, and you have reacted today, would it be fair to say we haven't done much with our advocacy for persons with disability?
Well, we've been doing the best that we could under the circumstances. But the fact that we have not also this to only the federation, that we have different interest group engaging, trying to let Ghanaians know that Mr. has done something that is anti-development, and that all it is an indication that at least we have left the fight to only the persons with disability. The issue of disability is a national issue, and that all of us have the responsibility to protect every citizen in this country and promote their right, everything that anyone who qualifies as a Kenyan is entitled. Yes, I think it would be better to also do more in terms of sensitizing people for them to, to understand that disability can do the same things that other individuals can do when they are given the opportunity. The fact that, for example, Dr. Dana is involved. This is a man who a PhD, no meanness and law. What else can you accuse him of? if he has demonstrated his capability throughout the office years, in spite of the fact that he has disability, we have people who are able but cannot do as much as persons with disability do in their various endeavors. The thing is that we have quite enough opportunity for them to even demonstrate to us what they can do and do better. And most of us who talk about claiming that they are perfect and we hope if that language has been entertained.
Mr. Osei-Bimpe, I'll have you hold on just a minute. Mama V, the former president, Jerry John Rawlings, has also spoken.
Yes, he has. I give you a little overview, but let's go into details as to what the former president is saying in that statement signed by Kwabena Ando Amoakon of the Communications Directorate of the former president. So, you know, the former president, Jerry John Rawlings, also chairs the party's Council of Elders. And he's saying in this statement that the comments by Mr. Bagbin are unacceptable and contrary to the values and principles of social inclusion of the NDC party. He's saying that the National Executive Committee of the party will have to ensure the full application of the rules and regulations governing campaign utterances and electioneering. And the last tail of that statement says such utterances have the tendency to negatively affect the unity and cohesion of the party. So this is contained in that statement that's been issued on behalf of the former president, Jerry John Rawlings.
All right. So, Mr. Osei-Bimpe, Alban Bagbin, Second Deputy Speaker, brought in our tradition in making his point. What is the way forward for us?
I think that this up. We are and we are not traditional system to govern. The position in was not a traditional system, even though deal with traditional authorities. It didn't require something with royal blood to do that in the first place. So that technology was completely out of place. What we need to do going forward is that, I mean, as much as we all cherish him and we want, there are certain things that have been done in the past that require reform. And so, for example, the past for some reason, because probably they require additional people and hunter to lead in time before and so forth. For which reason they may look for everybody. Times have changed, and those things no longer happen. What is beautiful about tradition is when the people who cherish such practices are able to as content as
well, we'll have to end it here. But Mama V, we have a lot of concerns raised by different civil society organizations.
Absolutely.
What is contained in the statement from the Federation of the Disabled?
Okay, so earlier I did mention the figure of persons living with disabilities that the Federation is reminding us of. But if you read some of the details contained in this statement, they say, for instance, that Dr. Henry Seydou Dana is a highly respected person in the Ghana Federation of Disabilities. He delivered diligently when he was minister. He had no issues with corruption and any sort of mismanagement, and that the Federation believes that he performed his role as expected. And they go on to say that he's a role model for the youth of the Federation.
Mama V, let's wrap up with Amnesty International. They have also registered their displeasure about the comments from Mr. Bagbin.
Absolutely. And you know, all the statements have one thing in common, but Amnesty is asking Mr. Bagbin to retract and apologize to these persons that he mentioned in the statement for his disrespect and disregard for the differences. Same as the CSO platforms on SDGs, they are also asking for an apology. They are calling on the Second Deputy Speaker to withdraw his comments and apologize to the disabled community in Ghana as a whole, Benis.
Thank you very much, Mama V. And this conversation has been on statements made by Second Deputy Speaker Alban Bagbin that a lot of civil society organizations have considered demeaning. And Mama V Owusu-Abuaje was here to bring us details of those statements. We also had Mr. Osei-Bimpe, co-chair of the civil society organization platform on SDGs. Thank you, sir, for your time. And we also had Elias Apreku. He is the president of the Ghana Stammerers Association. We'll move on quickly from that. But as of now, we haven't had any reaction from from Mr. Alban Bagbin on this particular issue and the reactions or calls for him to apologize and retract. When we do get a statement from him, we'll let you in on that. Away from that, 4 police officers who were hospitalized after they were reported to have been shot at Zabrama Line here in Accra have for the first time spoken about the attack. 2 other civilians were injured in the incident a little over a week ago. The 4 police officers told Ghana Police Watch they were shot at by a lone gunman but could not fire back because they feared innocent bystanders could be hit. The incident, according to the officers, happened at Sukura. Apologies, we'll bring you more on that shortly. This is News Desk with me, Bernice Abubedu.